Hello, good morning, very good morning, and thank you for dropping by Jenny's Wong page. I'm Jenny's Wong. Today is my pleasure to have Sugi with me. Hi, Sugi, good morning to you.
Hello, Janice. Good morning. Thank you
Yeah,
for inviting me.
yeah, okay. Sugi, you have a very big, very major task because in my interview panelist, right, you are so-called the only man to represent the 103,000 people in our community. I just want
Oh,
to share with our audience, right? Because in my previous panelists and most of the business partners that has been popping my page is actually female, and I have actually have audience coming to say, "Oh, this business is actually for women." You know,
mm.
so they have a concept that only women can join. No, no, no. So in our huge community, we also have a very huge majority of men. Just that maybe women interact more with women.
Yeah.
And today is actually my first time meeting Sugi, and it's really my pleasure to, I don't know him, and he's very gladful to accept my invite to do my travel around the series with a digital business. So, Sugi, maybe for you, right, you would like to have a quick introduction to the audience to tell them who are you.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Thank you, Janice. Hello, everyone. My name is Sugi. I am originally from Indonesia, from Medan, and now I live in Perth, Australia, for about 13 years. So I'm a chef by trade, and I'm also a digital business mentor. So I live in Perth with my wife Fanny and our two daughters, Samantha and Stella. Yeah, that's
Nice.
about me.
I've been to Australia, but I've not been to Perth. So, yeah, I mean, once the restriction travel lift up, right, I would love to travel more because I've not done that for the past 3 years, and I really miss flying through the the huge cloud and then go to outside and travel.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, Sugi, how did you get to know about this digital business?
Okay. How did I get to know? Yes. Because I in the few years ago, me and my wife, we think about to have our own business, right? Because our background in hospitality, so we thought of having a restaurant, Indonesian restaurant in Perth, yeah. But because of the limited capital, we couldn't open a restaurant, and then uh, some of the families and friends offer us to finance our restaurant. They said, "Oh, okay, we will look after the finance, and you guys just run the restaurant." Okay, we were so excited. We look for restaurant for sale. We spend time everything, and then we tell them that we found a restaurant, and then they said, "Oh, okay, I think not for this time." Yeah, so we turned down four times already by family and friends that give us empty promise that want to finance our dreams to have restaurant. But and at that moment, I tell my wife, I said, okay, that's enough. Don't rely on people anymore. We have to rely on ourselves. We rely on God. Okay, so we try to look for business, but because of the limited capital, we couldn't open restaurant. We couldn't do the brick and mortar business. Yeah, so I tried a few online business before. I try, but unfortunately, they are scams. Yeah, so I got scammed four times. So I got turned down four times. I got scammed four times. Wow. Yeah, I lost thousands of dollars because I really want to have business. So I joined the online business, but unfortunately they are scam. And then I found out this online business on my news feed on Facebook. Right, I saw an advertisement. I see, wow, online business. I thought, oh, this is must another scam again, right? And then, but I didn't pay attention of that advertisement about this online business. I just forget about it. And then 1 year later, another advertisement came out on my Facebook newsfeed from another person, right? And then I read on the story. I said, "Whoa, this is like the business that I saw last year, right? But from another person." And then I thought, "Oh." maybe I should check it out, right? And then because it offer free webinar to watch, and I thought it's no harm to watch the free webinar. I don't put my credit card details, I don't put my bank detail, anything. So how can they scam me, right?
Mm.
So I tried to watch the webinar. I put my name and email address. They send me the link. I watched the webinar, and then after I watched, oh, this is too good to be true. This is must another scam, right? So I was, I was so skeptical. I was so skeptical because I got scammed 3, 4 times already. I got so skeptical. I was like, oh, maybe this is another scam. But because our willingness to have our own business, because we think uh, working with the single source of income is quite risky, right? So we want to have a multiple stream of income. The more the better, right? So after I think for a while, I thought, oh, maybe I should check it out, this business, right? Because it gave me 30 days free trial, right? But I think I should check it out. So I check it out this business, and I found out that this business is not scam. This is legit business, legitimate, global, and we have to pay tax also for this business. So that's why I found about this business.
Wow, very nice to hear your story. Actually, I've been also scanned online before, and it was a very bad experience.
Yeah,
And okay, and to touch on your topic, that to have a business as because you are a chef, right? So I
yeah.
believe your passion is to cook,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
just like my dad, so my dad has a business of his own for 50 years, and and I have been helping in his F&B business since I was very young. And during my childhood days, right, I didn't so-called have my rest. Like, when I study on the day I study, and weekend I will be have to help out at the shop. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
also like working 24/7.
Yeah,
So I didn't have my time. But from how my dad has been doing the business, it shows me that having a business actually generate a very good income,
yeah.
right? But at the same time, I also see that the effort that he have to put in. He wakes up at
Yes.
4 because he have to go marketing, and then he have to. I mean, he's a very self-prep person. Everything he have to do it on his own. Even he has worker, so he's very reluctant to let the worker handle most of the thing, and the pressure is all on him because he wants to serve good food, and he wants to ensure the quality of his food. I believe you actually have the same sentimental, right?
Yeah,
Because you want to present your best cook to your people that's enjoying your food, right?
yeah.
And the stall that he had was actually a rented, right? And it was a rental for more than 50 years, even
Wow.
before I was born. But 3 years ago, actually before the pandemic, right? We actually received a sad news from, not even from the landlord, from he went marketing, and then someone from the market actually told him, "Hey, your premises actually somebody else leased it." Then we got a shock.
Wow.
Then actually my parents actually called the landlord. They said, "Hey, what happened to our lease?" They said, "Oh, I rented it to somebody else. End of the month, you just shift out." you
Wow.
know that was like, after 15 years, this is how the landlord treat us. And we thought we built that connection, for being landlord and lease kind of relationship, right, for that long
Mm.
period. But no longer, we wasn't being grateful for that period of time we have been leasing. And come to think of it, actually, that building so-called from the rental, my dad has been helping to pay up that building.
Yeah.
And then that makes me think that, having a business is generating me that income. And that's
Mm-hmm.
for sure. But then I also have to think about that hardship. And I have been thinking of whether I should, learn from him his skill, because of he still has quite a handful of fans that likes his food.
Yeah.
He's almost at his 70 now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's still cooking now. So now we change the concept. We are working from, he's actually cooking from home. So it's
Wow.
kind of like home-based concept. And prior to the pandemic, we actually allows dine in at our private owned home.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more of like a semi-retired, and he really enjoyed this concept. Although he was very down at the period when, he get to know how the landlord treated him after that long
Mm.
period of relationship. But with that kind of change, he made a mindset change when we had the guests coming into our dine in at our own home, right? He enjoyed talking to the people, which in the past he was busy in the kitchen and he never had that kind of interaction with people coming to the store because
Mm.
of the change in the consumer size. Now
Yes.
we are solely like private dining. You have your own area,
Wow.
and yeah, that concept is different, and people like it also. So he likes the idea also because after he cook already, while people is eating, he will come out and talk with them, chit chat with them. How then
Wow.
he enjoy the comment of like, oh, your food is very good. He
Yeah.
feel very proud. I mean, from his expression, I can tell.
Mm.
Yeah.
Good.
So
Yeah.
and this digital business, right, gave me that hope that you don't have to have a store, you don't
Yes.
have to manage manpower, you don't
Mm-hmm.
have to pay for electric bills, or maybe we did
Mm.
because we need Wi-Fi and laptop.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then the cost of capital is so much smaller compared to having to manage a physical shop,
Yeah.
right? Okay, then talk about my scam.
Mhm.
I've been scammed before online, and it was a terrible, terrible experience. And after that scam, and I'm sorry to hear that you actually have to face it 4 times
Yes.
because when I went in at one time, and when I get to know about this digital business, I was so skeptical because from my bad experience, right, I didn't dare. But then I was also curious, and like you at the same time, I wanted something. I wanted something that can assure me my future
Mhm.
because based on a 9 to 5, I'm actually working in a logistic supply
Yep.
chain kind of, and I'm in the oil and gas industry. And looking at how the economy has changed the oil and gas industry, right now, economy also changed towards greener kind of expectation.
Yep.
So it's not gonna sustain for me. So I needed something that that can support me in case my career fail,
Yep.
which in this pandemic we saw a lot of retrenchment,
Yes.
and people are being asked to go
Mm.
for no valid reason, just because the company is trying to sustain on their own.
Yes. That's true.
Right. So I also did my part by asking a lot to the person that I saw in the so-called advertisement that we popped by, because of our experience, we actually wanted to ensure that this is not a scam, and
Mm-hmm.
but we still overcome the fear, and I'm glad that we did, right, because if we
Yes.
do not overcome the fear, we will not see that this is actually legit. And for you, you have been doing this for 2 years, and I'm
Mm.
coming to a year, and we will not be sustaining this business if it's not real, and if it's not proven that there's a success, we also will
Mm-hmm.
not be hanging on this business for that long,
Yep.
right? Yeah, such a
Yes.
wonderful, amazing sharing.
Mhm.
Okay, so when you know about and you stepped in, right? And like all legit business, there is a capital that we need to build. So, uh, wait, sorry, this is the next question. So, what makes you want to join in to be part of the 103,000 community as of now?
Yes, yeah, that's a great question. What makes me want to join? Yeah, at first because I like it because it's online, so I can do whenever I want to do or wherever I want to do. Right, I can use my laptop or my phone to do this business. So I don't have to sacrifice my family time to do the business. Right. So if I let's say, for example, if I open a restaurant, I have to sacrifice my family time. Yeah, I I think I have to go to restaurant maybe like 9 o'clock in the morning
Mm,
until maybe 10 or 11 o'clock at night. Yeah,
yes.
because there is my restaurant, my own restaurant. I have to work very hard. right? Because I saw so many my friends, they open a restaurant, they go to the restaurant in the morning, like 9 o'clock. They open until 9 o'clock, but after finish, they have to clean up everything. They have to prepare for tomorrow, right? Not just go home, right? Yeah. So I had to sacrifice a lot of family time, and then I like about this business because it doesn't need a lot of capital to start up. Yeah, compared to physical shop, physical restaurant, brick or mortar business. I don't say that restaurant or brick or mortar business they are bad. No, they are also good business. Yeah, because if you have capital to do the business, please you can do right. That's a good business. But for people that like me, I don't have enough capital. This online business is a uh, good business to do, good business to start, right? Because uh, you can start from what you have right now, right? You don't have. Few years ago, we thought of opening another business like indoor playground, yeah, for the kids, indoor playground with my wife. There's a franchise, so we went to ask how much the franchise. They said $300,000. We were like, what? See, we have big dreams, but we don't have enough capital to do. So this online business is a perfect fit for us because we, like us, we don't have a lot of capital. Also, can do this online business. That's what made us join this business.
Yeah. So, like I shared, my dad, when he was having his physical store, the first thing that he comes, okay, so the long hours is one thing. Then at night he come back, he has to do his own accounting. So doesn't mean
Yes.
that you reach home, you actually rest. So he have to do the accounting for the day, then he have to prep for the day, for the next day. And
Yep.
like I said, he wakes up 4 o'clock in the morning. He rests at only past maybe 12 midnight and or 1 a.m. So the
Wow.
number of hours of sleep that he have a day is actually less than 8 hours.
Wow.
So now he's actually cooking from home, right? But he's already tuned to that timing that he wakes up. Even though
Yeah.
for now he doesn't have to man a shop, right? He still wake up at 4. And my mom is
Oh.
always grumbling, "Hey, no shop already. Why you still wake up so early?" and
Yeah.
and the thing is, before coming to his profit, right? The worry that he has is his monthly expenses that he needs to have.
Mm.
So what's so good about our online digital business? There's no monthly fee,
No.
right? You don't have to think about, okay, this month I make how much, then I have to set aside this much for the expenses that's coming for this month. Like I said again, the manpower, the employees, your rental,
Yeah.
whatever your ingredients that you need to your ingredient for your stocks, things like that. Or even if you're selling a product, right, then you have to replenish the stock. So that's how amazing this
Yes.
business is. And I mean, when you and I would know this business from the start, we also, I mean, for me, I felt that it was something so true to be heard or to be known, because I think that mindset um, wasn't built in our brain, because
Yeah.
our mindset was still very traditional kind of, you must have a product in order to earn,
Yeah.
right? That kind of big that kind of concept actually, that kind of mindset is actually what is built in when as we grow and we are being taught, right?
Yes.
Anything out of the norm is like, oh, real or not,
Yeah.
can do or not,
Yeah.
but what you and I did was really to step in, take a look, feel it for ourselves. Of course we verify,
Yeah.
which then we step in, because we have that experience, and we learn from our experience, but
Yeah.
we never fear of that. I think uh, that's also because our why, what we want to achieve for our future, for our kids. You have two,
Yes.
I have also have two girls. Mine are
Yes.
age 11 and 8.
Oh, okay.
So as I mean, as the future path grow, and from how uh, I've grown from my young days till now, technology has changed so much,
Yes.
right? And
Yeah.
I mean, come on, last time our computers were like the bulky one,
Yeah.
and then now it's like the electronics are getting smaller and smaller and so
Yes.
handy,
Mm.
especially for handphone. So, and imagine if we were to step into an online business today and we look far ahead of what the technology could be in the years ahead, right?
Yeah.
And this business actually upgrades and updates based on how the technology moves.
Yes.
Yeah, that's in preparation of our future,
Yes. That's true.
correct? Yeah. And let's see what we have from our audience. We have Winnie, good morning. And Winnie said, absolutely multiple source of income is the way to go now. Yeah, you can't rely on one source. I think the pandemic actually gave us a very good wake up call,
Yeah.
because so far this is the worst case we have been through, and we will not know whether there's anything that's even worse for now. But
Yes.
looking at the variant change, we thought
Mm.
that you go for the vaccination, and when we are almost fully vaccinated for Singapore population, we thought, okay, I have the hope of having to travel, and then a
Mm.
new variant come out.
Yes. Mm.
Correct. And then this is something that we cannot control and is unknown,
No. Yeah.
right? But and in future, we will not know if there will be a similar case that might hit the economy.
Mm. Yes.
Yeah, because so this is the a backup plan, be it whether this digital business or not. A backup plan is a must, and
Mm.
not solely relying on your 9 to 5 is the wake up call,
Yeah. That's
right?
true.
And we also have Rebecca. Hi, Rebecca. We have blessings. Hi, blessings is from Korea. Nice. We have Sylvia. Sylvia says this business is easier to enter as the startup capital is much lower than other franchise. Correct.
Yes.
I also have tried to ask other franchise option in Singapore. It's at least 100,000 and above.
Yeah.
You cannot find one business that is like our capital.
No.
And then we have Zimei, we have Jane. Jane also have bad experience as a traditional business owner too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have quite a few
Wow.
audience. You are a very attractive guy. Okay, so you have been in the business for 2 years, and what do you see yourself change after being in the business?
Oh yeah. What changed? At first, the first thing I think the computer skills, because this online business needs. Uh, I keep learning about computer skill because my background is not computer. Uh,
Tech
what you call
savvy,
it? Yeah, not
you're
tech
not tech
savvy.
savvy.
So the only thing I do on my social media on Facebook just post photo. That's it. Maybe I post like 6 months, once in 6 months or once in a year. Yeah. So I don't really get into this social media thing before this business, right? Because I thought that's a waste of time, right? Like scrolling the social media, looking the people posting, it's wasting the time, right? And then the first thing is I learned a lot about social media because social media is not just posting photo or video and then scrolling. Yeah, we can earn income from social media. That's what I learned. Yeah, I was so surprised and I know, wow, I can earn income from social media. And from that point, I like social media.
I'm actually
And
the opposite. I used to post a
yeah,
lot. I social
mm,
media, especially Facebook, is my friend. The last time,
wow, uh-huh,
so when I was still doing my dad's F&B that time when he was a store, he already has a Facebook business page for his F&B, and I was one helping him to maintain the Facebook page.
wow,
But I didn't know that we can do more than what we are doing today.
yeah,
So my
yes,
knowledge was limited when I was alone.
hmm yeah, that's good. Yeah. And another things that I become more positive person than before, right? I can see things in a positive perspective, right? Because everything we can see from two sides, right? When you wake up, it's raining, you can see it's raining. Ah, it's raining. But oh wow, it's raining. It's blessing coming, right? So I learned a lot of things, see from the positive perspective, not just see from negative perspective, right? And then another thing that I see hope from this business, right? As you know, when I work as a chef, I know already I have to work until 67, right? If I don't do anything, I don't change, I don't have any source of income, I have to work until retirement age, which is 67 for now. Before was 65, now 67. I don't know, maybe 5 years later become 70 or become 75. Escape going, right? So now it's 67. But when I join this business, I have multiple streams of income. I can see hope. So I see hope that I don't have to work until 67 years old, right? Yeah, I know. Some people, what to say, it's not a problem to work until 67, right? It's not a problem. I don't say work until 67, it's a problem. No. Yeah, no. But for me personally, I want to enjoy life with my family, right? So when I work, I already lost like about 10 hours my family time, right? Every day, 5 days a week, 10 hours gone, right? It's not about right or wrong, but for me personally, I want to enjoy more time with my family, especially my kids are still little. So once they grow up, once they are 18, 20, 25, that's it. They will spend their time with their friends or their family already, right?
Yeah.
So as long as while they are still little, I want to spend more time with them. Yeah, that's what the changes that I have while since I joined this business.
I'm really glad that Sugi, you actually took this change, as in you took up this opportunity. Basing on my own experience, like my dad has been in his business for 50 years.
Mm,
Before he was forced to stop his shop, right? I never, I never had so-called a good family bonding time with my dad. Never.
mm,
He operates like every Tuesday to Sunday. His
mm,
off days is Monday. I
yeah.
mean, when I started my career, and our typical working hours is Monday to Friday,
Yes.
right? And I never had that so-called family dinner, proper dinner with
Mm,
him for that period. I'm already 43. So can you imagine, for my 40 years old, I didn't really sit down and have a good food with my parents.
oh,
And that's the time that he missed. I believe he missed. He had no choice. At that, he has no education. His
yeah.
his cooking is his only hand skill,
Yeah.
right? He doesn't have an option, and he has to
Mm,
bring food to the table. He has to pay
yes.
for our education, and
Mm,
I'm really grateful for what my father has, or what my parents has gone through.
yeah.
But that family bonding is something that when you missed it, you cannot chase it back.
No.
Yeah, and
Mm,
now I'm actually staying with my parents, and I'm catching up, and they are aging. I'm actually sandwiched between my parents and my kids are young. So even now they have that time freedom, like we go travel, right? Then
mhm,
it's a very wide stream of gap between them and my children, and the
yeah.
things that we do is so different. So
Mm,
it's like I need to I need to consider for my children because they are very active. At the
yeah.
same time, I have to consider my parents, which are very old,
Yeah.
and they can't walk for long, and they can't travel for long. They feel tired after a period of time. Where my
Yes.
kids will be like my last trip to Korea. Most of the time, they are very tired, and we have to stay at our rented apartment. And then my
Yeah.
kids are so bored at the inside
Yeah.
the apartment, right? So
Yes.
it will give me a look back that I don't want my children to go through that kind of phase like what I've been through. right?
Mm.
At the same time, I'm also catching up the time that I lost with my parents,
Yeah.
right? And it is really very grateful to hear from you that you actually you have the similar background as my dad, because you both of you cook, and you understand that the time that you need to invest in is so much more if you choose that path to have a stall or open a restaurant of your own,
Yeah.
and how much time that you will miss the growing of your children.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my dad now. His lifestyle is, he scrolls and look through YouTube. He looks at the entertainment program. He
Yeah.
lies on the sofa, watch the
Mm.
TV. The kind of enjoyment that he have, and he has not had that for the past 50 years.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
I felt that it was a blessing in disguise that the tenant decided to stop our lease.
Yes.
It actually, in a way, it forced him to so-called semi-retire. And like you
Yeah.
said, in Singapore, our retirement age grows each year also, dependent
Mm.
like how the company or how the government set the rules,
Yeah.
right? Although we have the central provision retirement fund, and then
Yeah.
every year the retirement fund grows, which means that you have to keep working,
Yeah.
right? And
Yes.
these are not something that we can control. And in
No.
this business, it's something that we can control because it's something that we do to bring hope to
Yeah.
our future. And best
Yes.
thing is we can leave a legacy for our children.
Yes. That's true.
Okay, yeah, it's indeed a very good sharing with you, Sugi, today. Okay, so what do you have to share with our audience based on your experience in this digital business?
Oh, okay. What do I have to say? Yeah, that's a good one. I just want to share with you guys, if you guys now only have one stream of income, it's good to think to have multiple stream of income. Yeah. So the more, the better, right? Don't just depend on one single stream of income, right? Because we never know what will happen tomorrow. We will never know what will happen next year, right? So even our salary or our pay is huge, big, but please don't rely on single source of income, right? There are so many opportunity out there. You can look. One of them is this online business. Yeah, feel free to ask Janice to watch the webinar. It's 90 minutes webinar. It's free. It's totally free. No string attached. It's free. So watch the webinar. uh Check out about this business. Yeah, do your research, see if this business is a good fit for you or not. If it's not a good fit, it's okay, no problem. At least you already watched the webinar, you learn something about this online business, right? So please open your mind, open your heart. Don't rely on one single source of income. Yeah, create multiple stream of income. Yeah, do whatever you can do. Please make more than one stream of income. Yeah, make two, three, four, as many as you can. The more, the better. Right? I don't. Uh, I'm saying this not because I say, oh, you have to be greedy. You have to make more money, more money, more money. No, I'm not saying. I don't mean about that. I mean because we have family, right? We have family. We have bills to pay. So, what will happen if suddenly our income stop? Right? If suddenly happen to our company, our income stops suddenly, or suddenly happen to us. If we sick or whatever happen, suddenly our income stop. What happened with our family, right? We cannot rely on with friends or with other family to to help our family, right? They can help maybe for a while, but not forever, right? So please create another source of income, even though you only have safe job right now. Create another one. The more, the better. That's what I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for my case, my husband has been working for 3 years. Uh,
Wow.
Typically in Singapore, we say both couple will need to work in order to sustain the kind of living expenses in Singapore,
Mm.
right? So imagine that 3 years I was solely on my income, and it's pretty stressful on one side.
Yeah.
And that is why, so-called, like you keep mentioning, relying on one source of income. At that point,
Mm.
it's really my one source of income. And to the point that I was so stressful of, and worried that I cannot lose my job.
Mm.
You know, when the pandemic come, I was so scared that, because this monthly pay is so important to me.
Yeah.
I cannot fail in my career or whatever projects that I was in. I
Yeah.
put in that 110%,
Mm.
in my career, and what I missed out was the time with my children.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that was also a wake up call, because the stress that I was getting and my health deteriorated, and it then comes to sense that I cannot just depend on, firstly, myself. I
Yeah.
cannot depend on my income. I need something more.
Mm.
So, because that could be a chance that I may lose my job, not because of my performance, but when the company says so, you are not needed, you are redundant, we need to cut manpower.
Mm.
You have no choice but just to accept the fact, and
Yeah.
you do not have a safety net to help you.
No.
Yeah, correct. That is our message that we want to share with the audience today. We have been through, and we have done all our checks, and this business is really one of the best consideration that you can take a look in.
Yeah.
As long as you stepped in, like we said, we have a 30 days trial.
Yeah.
You think this is business not for you, you get your refund, right? You
Yes.
don't have to proceed further. There's nothing that you get to lose,
No.
as long it's just another kind of exploration, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
because we have stepped in, we have seen how amazing this business is, and we are inspired to help more people that has been in the same situation, that wants more time with the family and the loved one,
Mm.
that one additional source of income from anywhere they want to find.
Yes.
This is definitely the platform that you should look into.
Yes. That's true.
Right. Oh, I have so much from Sugi today, and it's really my pleasure to have you on my panel list to represent the men's from the digital world. Okay,
Yeah. This business is not for women only. Yeah.
correct. We have more men's in our community, but because my travel around the world series, I can't use the full 30 days, and I have limitations to the time zone. And
Yes.
lucky thing is, Sugi and I, we are of the same time zone now.
Yes.
So I actually have panelists from UK, Canada, and it was quite challenging for me to do the scheduling because of our time difference, right? Either
Yes.
I'm asleep or they are awake.
Yeah.
And then I really have to find that slot, and that kind of time slot is very limited.
Mm.
So once again, if you are interested, our details is actually scrolling at the bottom
Yeah.
of this screen that you are looking at. You can actually ask us anything. We are very grateful to reply you or answer your queries. How you can actually step in to explore.
Hmm.
Just reach out, and we will get in contact with you.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Sugi. And today is Monday. I wish you all the best for the week, and have an enjoyable time with your family,
Thank you,
and
Janice. Thank you
success
very
in
much.
your business.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a privilege for me. Thank you. God
Thank
bless.
you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye for now.